So let's keep studying, and the first Bible verse I'm going to read is found in Amos 3:3. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Unfortunately, a lot of people, they get together, they fell in love, and they marry, but they have no agreement. I'm not talking about the lawyer side of agreement, that you have to agreement, how you divide the property in case you get divorced. No. In Adventist Home, page 44, I wish I could make the youth see and feel their danger, especially the danger of making unhappy marriages. I would not be understood to mean that anyone is to marry one whom he does not love. This would be sin. So, first, what you need to get married, you need to love one another, right? The difference between love and falling in love or liking person, we already spoke a little bit. Brother Marcelo covered a little bit that subject. We might come back to this a little bit tomorrow. But you need to love that person, and she needs to love you and he you. Then if two people love one another, how come that in the end it's unhappy marriage? Have you ever thought about that? Now, talking to gentlemen, brothers, in Adventist Home, if you read the chapter, Choosing a Partner for Life, there is a list of questions that he should ask himself, and there is a list of questions that she should ask herself. So we're starting with the brethren. So I'm pretty much quoting these questions from Ellen White's statement. Let the questions be raised. Will this union help me heavenward? Do you understand that if she's a member in good standing, it doesn't mean that she will help you go heavenward? It's not enough. There are a lot of people who are members in good standing, but they are not converted. So this is the question for you to consider. Will it increase my love for God? If you're talking to her, and the only thing what she's talking is vanity, it's something cheap, something of no value, and she's just enjoying the moment spending with you. And the moment you come to church, in Sabbath school, she's dead silent. She has no comments. Even on the simple questions, she cannot answer them. Why? She is not in love with God. That's not her object of love. Her heart is not with Jesus. Her heart is with the, dress, your car, whatever. Will it enlarge my sphere of usefulness in this life? Now, a short story. A pair, a husband and wife, who lived already, let's say, 20 years together, they're walking. And the wife says, "Hey, do you see that man?" And that man, and they were, they just, they were driving Mercedes, and they just walked out to go out to a nice restaurant. And another man, he's just, working as a cook in that restaurant. And she asks him, "Do you see that man?" Says, "Yeah." Says, "He proposed me, but I chose you." And I said, well, you see, you chose a successful man. You know, now you're a wife of a businessman, not just a cook there in the kitchen. She said, no, you are misunderstanding. If I would marry him, he would be a successful businessman. Now, you get the point of the question. Will it enlarge my sphere of usefulness in this life? Do you know how many Bible workers lost their ability to be ordained because they connected themselves with the wrong girl? Do you know how many ministers are not fully successful in their ministry because of the wrong wife? I know back in Ukraine, as excellent minister with the ability to rule, to manage, to administrate, good preacher, excellent public skills, public relationship. Everybody liked him, but his wife was the biggest gossiper in Ukraine. And she ruined all his career. She ruined all his influence. The question, will she enlarge my sphere of usefulness in this life? Will she bring happiness to your home? There are a type of ladies that they're constantly murmuring. They are in a mood to judge others. Everything is wrong. Did you see her dress? Did you hear what she say? Did you hear that preacher? No, that preacher is bad. Next preacher is coming. No, I don't like him. Third preacher is coming. No, this pastor is crazy. Everything is wrong. Always and everyone. They're a type of people. Will she bring happiness to your home? And the statement continues. It's Adventist home pages 46 to 47. Is she an economist, or will she, if married, not only use all her own earnings, but all of yours to gratify a vanity, a love of appearance? Brother Marcelo covered already that point, showing, the empty pocket. But that's a valid question, brothers. It's a very important question. I know, ladies, it's not that we invent. It's not only somewhere there in Las Vegas, these type of ladies. No. I've seen them in the church who says, I'm not going to drive this car with you. No. Only BMW. Has she anything now to depend upon? This is a very strategic question. You know why? In case something happens, car accident, God allows things to happen, or maybe sometimes we go too fast and our angel cannot catch with us the way we drive. And because of a car accident, or maybe because God allowed something to happen, I became incapable. I lose my job. I'm handicapped from now on. Will she be able to help our family to maintain at least for food and bills? Has she anything now to depend upon? No, you don't have to look. When we will come to the ladies' side, no, you don't want to have a guy who will rely on you. No. You should be a man that your wife relies on the man. But at the same time, things happen in life. Again, I'm generalizing, but There are a certain type of ladies that is strongly recommended to avoid for men. Take it very seriously. Girls who started their intimate life early. If girls started her intimate life with her first boyfriend, she was 17. Then at 18, she had another boyfriend. And then at 20, she had another boyfriend. And then at 24, she marries you. It's a big risk. I'm not saying it's a must to avoid. It's recommended to avoid. She might be a loyal wife. She maybe she got converted. But there is a big risk. Slobs who don't know how to create comfort at the everyday level. There are a type of ladies that invite you to visit them because she's in love with you. She invites you to her home. And then when you come to her home, you see this. And she just says, "Oh, sorry for the mess." Last week, I visited a customer. I came into a house, Afro-American families. I came into the house, it was an apartment. And the only thing what was not in place, I believe her husband in the morning, leaving to work in a rush, left his house тапочки, slippers, house slippers, not aligned with the rest of the shoes. And you know what she said? "So sorry for the mess," and she just aligned them. But again, it's a recommendation because if your boy room looks like that, then boom, it's a perfect match. A lady boss. Try to avoid those. There are a type of ladies that they're on the first line to rule, to dominate, to tell you what to do. But you know what, as Brother Marcelo said, every type of person has its match. There are men that they are not men. They need this kind of wife. Otherwise, they would live in mess. They need someone to rule them, to tell you what to do, to assign tasks to them, and lead them through life. Therefore, as I said, I'm generalizing. But in general, a man, a regular guy, would not be happy with the boss in a family. Princesses. Girls who firmly believe that they are a unique treasure, which only one, the very best, is worthy of. She herself does not know which one, but certainly not those who show her signs of attention. I've seen these kind of sisters in the church. And her family, they divorced now. Why? She was made a princess by her mom. So if we go by, whose fault is that? That's her parents' fault that they made her a princess. So her mom ruined her life by making her a princess. And of course, the boy could not just maintain and live with the princess, so it collapsed. And they divorced. Lazy. Girls with no hobbies or interest other than social media. When you talk to her girl, so what do you like? What do you do in the free time? Nothing. So what are your interests? Oh, not much, I don't know, nothing special. Do you expect that this girl will become an interesting wife, that you will have something to talk? She has no interest, no hobbies. She's not crafting, she's not into traveling, she's not into, I don't know, nothing, into sports, into cooking, she's into nothing. Confident that a man is just another wallet. There are type of girls that they believe this theory that man is made to pay. Man is a provider. I'm a lady. It is true, man should be a provider. But I'm talking about that type of mentality. Now, let's go to ladies. Something about the boys. Ellen White has another statement that she talks to ladies. Before giving her, it's page 48, Adventist Hope. Before giving her hand in marriage, every woman should inquire, and then she lists questions. I just divided them by bullets. Whether he with whom she is about to unite her destiny is worthy. Brother Marcel already mentioned, look how he treats his mom, how he treats his sisters, how he treats other people in the church. The best would be if you can catch a moment to see how he treats his co-workers, colleagues. What has been his past record? Is his life pure? It's very important because once he had a girlfriend at his 18 and he violated the moral rules, and then he had another girl at 19 and another girl at 20, and then he marries you. When you're pregnant or life makes a turn, there is a big chance that he will look for satisfaction of his passions on the side, bypassing you as wife. It's very important to know his records, his past life. Is the love which he expresses of a noble, elevated character, or is it a mere emotional fondness? Yeah, that can be just an emotional attachment. He likes you. And especially the psychological phenomena can be observed. The moment that the guy is approaching a girl and a girl does not respond immediately with a mutual sympathy, she kind of, takes a position of watching and observing, to make up her mind, in other words. He starts to be even more pushy, because you remember what we were studying yesterday, psychologically, that's how we are made. We like the process. We like to achieve. And if you say no, or you take the position that, not sure, give me some time, we don't want to wait. We push, we want to achieve, we want to accomplish. Continuing questions. Has he the traits of character that will make her happy? Will he be a husband understanding? Or something, when something is not right, he will be yelling at you and screaming? Can she find true peace and joy in his affection? will she be allowed to preserve her individuality? This is a very important question. Do you know how many abuses in the families exist, in the Christian families? Do you know how many wives, they lost their identity as a woman because of a dominating husband? A husband who controls everything she makes, every call, constantly checking her phone, constantly checking, where did you spend that? Why did you buy that? She cannot make even a step without talking or having his consent or permission. There are families like that. So ask yourself, ladies, will I be able to preserve my individuality? Can she honor the Savior's claims as supreme? So what I was talking about the ladies, now I'm talking about the boys, to the ladies, addressing ladies. If he is funny and you enjoy talking to him and he is just so funny and you like his jokes and he is outspoken and he is playing volleyball and he is a sportsman and he is so promising, but when it comes to Sabbath school, dead silent. Not a single word. How in the world you can expect that this man will become a priest in the family? He has nothing to share in a spiritual sense. He has no interest in church. I mean, he is coming to church. He's a member in good standing. But his heart is not here. Jesus is not his friend. Can you expect him to be a father that later on he will sit with your children, take a Bible, story Bible, and tell them the Bible stories and pray together? No way. If he has nothing to say in a Sabbath school, if he's dead silent in church, and the moment he leaves church, he's so funny, he's so cool guy, run. Well, unless you have the same mentality, then yeah, I saw pairs that he's like that, she's like that they get together, and then after a couple of years, you don't see them anymore in church. Now, type of men to avoid. We're talking type of ladies to avoid. No, type of men to avoid. Same, guys who started their intimate life early. I will not repeat my comments. Lazy, not studying, not planning to study, satisfied with a minimum per hour wage. I know that not everyone can afford any university. No. And not everyone can mentally afford a university. But at least an associate degree from a college, state college, which is free. Can you afford that? And if he is not even considering to take some education, basic, associate degree. Again, don't take me wrong. I know successful business people who has no degree whatsoever. No, he can be industrious. But at the same time, the second part of the sentence, he is not satisfied with the minimum. He's industrious. He's a business-minded person. He builds, he works. It doesn't mean that if he doesn't has a degree, then no, he's not qualified. No, I'm saying either he is businessman, he has his business, he's building, he's working on that, or he's studying for career. Whatever route he chooses, but something must be there. Some purpose in life. How he is planning to support his family, future family. Guys with addictions, various addictions. It can be, okay, let's say Christian addictions. None of you is alcoholic. No. None of you is smoking. I hope so. How about computer games? Or phone games? It doesn't matter. Games. How about soccer? No, it's okay to play soccer. That's fine. But if he's so much into soccer, you have to understand that you will be probably in hospital, or you will need help that evening, but you will not receive any help because it's a World Cup now playing on the TV. I'm sorry, wife. You know what this is addiction. Dictators. As I mentioned, this is questions generated based on the not only spirit of prophecy, but what psychologists recommend, and the spirit of prophecy. But this question was mentioned by Ellen White also. So, will he allow you to preserve your individuality? So I will not comment much. Kings. A man who has an idea, and he cherished this idea, that wife is to cook and take care of babies, and to wash and iron his shirts. Which I was looking to see that in my wife. But it's one way that you appreciate that, because she's doing you a service. Another way that you believe in this, that that's her duty. I'm not going to wash the floor, I'm not going to vacuum. She's a household, I'm a provider. So you're a king. You have a good job, maybe. Maybe you provide 100% of a family budget. That's fine. That's even perfect. But mentality, if you see her as a servant, I don't wish any girl to have such a husband. Mommy's boys. Yes. It sounds funny, but the reality of life shows that if he is not ready to keep the commandment that a man will leave his father and mother and cling to his wife, if he is not ready to fulfill that commandment given by God, don't marry such a man. He must fulfill the commandment, leave his mother and his father. No, I'm not saying to become disrespectful and ignore his parents in their elderly age. No. But to cling to his wife. When something happens, he has to be on your side, not on his mom's side. Now, of course, he and she must be a God-fearing person. You agree? Amen? Amen? Now, I have a question. Have you seen people, I've seen a lot, that the God-fearing man marries God-fearing lady, and they never divorce, but they don't live a happy marriage. Marriage for them is a yoke. It's a curse. It's something that they wish to get out, but they have to wait until somebody dies. But do you know why they don't divorce? Guess why they are not divorcing? Because they are both God-fearing. Because they want to keep the commandment. They don't divorce. But they are not happy in their marriage. You know why? Adventist Home, page 45. Marriage, in a majority of cases, is a most galling yoke. There are thousands that are mated but not matched. No, they are both God-fearing, but they are not matching one another. This is why I would warn the young who are of marriageable age to make haste slowly in the choice of a companion. Look at this picture. I think it will tell more than my words and comments. What's wrong in this picture? Wrong choice in life. She's a God-fearing lady, you're a God-fearing man, but you're not matching. In Romans we read, we'll come to the point of matching. In Romans we read, Romans 3:10, as it is written, there is none righteous. No, not one. Do you think you will be able to find a perfect person? A perfect wife? A perfect husband? No. I have to discourage you. You will not find a perfect wife, a perfect husband. Now, here is a challenge for you. Pay attention to the next slide. Pick one. Take your time. Just pick one for partner in life. Huh? What? Oh, liar. Sorry, my mistake. It was typo. Liar. What, your computer is frozen? I'm showing you the reality. There are no perfect people. Everyone has a defect, one, two, or even more. Now pick one. As a pastor dealing with people, as a father, I know that everyone has defects. I have defects. One of my defects was unknown to me until I married. No, I'm not going to share which one. I'm just sharing the fact that one of my defects was absolutely unknown to me until I got married. Because mom's love did not notice that defect. My mother's love, and she loves me much, in her eyes, I was the best boy in the world until I married. So did you make your choice? No? So, a man may be dreaming of a happy wife, always smiling, cooking good, and dressed nicely and neatly, but he may get into this. Of course, I'm exaggerating, but now, coming to the lists. Now, pull up your lists. Pull up your lists. You have 10 positive things you want to see in your future spouse, right? Now, delete 7 of them. Keep the most important for you. Narrow down to 3 the most important qualities for you. Take your time. So one by one, eliminate the qualities that you can survive without in marriage. If you're not ready to erase 7 out of 3, you're not ready for marriage. I mean, it means that you're too young, not mature enough to realize the reality. Let me know when you're done. Yeah. It is possible, yeah, he has a good point that some of the qualities, if she has one, that some of them are naturally followed, that if she is loving and caring, then yeah, there are certain things that kind of comes by default as a result of having those traits of character. I understand that. I'm just giving this for the sake of illustration for you to understand what is life reality. You are dreaming of a husband, you are dreaming of a wife, but this is the reality. You will not be able to find wife or a husband completely satisfying your list. You ready to move on? Okay, I'll give you okay. Take your time. Ready? Are you done, brother? Not yet? Too complicated? Okay, narrow to 5. This boy is very picky. He's not willing to sacrifice 7, just 5. No, delete. So you leave only 3 main. I mean, there's something that, okay, these 3 he must or she must have. Ready for the next challenge? Okay, next challenge. Now, he or she will have defects. The question, with which defects of his or her character you're willing to cope, to deal with, to live with? Pick 3 defects that you are okay to deal with in your life. So pick 3 and put it down on your list. Okay, for example, a lady says, I'm very organized, I can deal with a forgetful husband. But I will not tolerate jealous husband. Or I will not be able to live with a stingy wife. I don't want to have a grumpy husband or spoiled boy, mama's boy. Paloma, stingy in Portuguese. Not sharing. Yeah, everything is for me, not sharing. Huh? Spoiled. Just, there are some guys, they are spoiled. Mama's boys. He's spoiled. Or she is spoiled, like a princess, I'm the one, I'm the... We were talking about stingy. I know people that they're so greedy and stingy that they will keep in their house always 67 in the winter and 80 in the summer to save money. They don't care that the wife and the children want a little bit warmer or a little bit cooler in the summer. They're saving. They're saving. It's a defect. Now, in the end, here is where we're finding an answer to the question, what is your minimum? What you should have on the list? He or she to be a God-fearing person, right? 3, must have positive traits. Three must have positive traits. The one what you eliminated, you narrowed down to 3. So, for example, for me, I will reveal your family secret. For me, it was crucially important that the wife to be very, not to be messy, let's say that way. So when I was visiting my future wife, Olga, and she went to the kitchen to help her mom to prepare a nice lunch, I opened her closet. I opened her drawers. It's a secret. I don't say you should do that. But everything was like this. Can you imagine all the socks were organized by color? I said, yes, this is mine. Because that's how I am. For me, it was crucially important. I would not be told, I don't know, it would be disaster for me to have a messy wife, I know that some ladies, their closet is just like on that picture I showed you before. But if you are like that also, then it's not a problem. It's not a must for you, you understand? Maybe for you a must that she would be beautiful. But again, I want to discourage you. She gets pregnant, 2 pregnancies, she loses her beauty. From skinny blonde, she becomes big blonde. Are you ready for that? But that's the reality of life. You have to understand that you have to choose a partner who has a character you like. Because he's handsome can go away. Her beauty will go away, will fade over the years. A disease, pregnancy, worries of life wears you out. What are you left is with a beautiful or ugly character. Now, you have on your list 3 defects that you are ready to cope with. She and he is not perfect. The question is, what are you ready to live with? What are you ready to live with? For example, she is stubborn. For some guys, there's a big no-no. No, I just cannot tolerate stubborn. Okay, then she is not for you. She's a God-fearing lady. She loves the Lord, but this is her defect. She is working on it, but it will take years and lifelong. Are you ready to deal with stubbornness? No. You're not matching. But for some boys, I can deal with stubbornness. Ah, that's fine. I can yield to her wishes. It's not a problem. Is it wrong? No. Is it good, stubbornness? No. It's just matching. What are you ready to live with? And of course, why it's important God-fearing? As I said, there are some defects that we will be discovering after marriage. Whatever list you do, however many lectures you listen on choosing a right partner for life, there are secrets you will discover only after marriage. About him, about her. And you can ask him, why you didn't tell me? I myself didn't know I have that defect. As I told you, I have a defect, I'm working on it. But I didn't even think that I have that defect until I married. And my wife did not recognize it right away. As we were living together, it's starting popping up. And then she said, I don't like it. But I started to work to change that, to improve that. If the guy or a lady is not a God-fearing person, you know what they'll say? This is how I am. If you hear a person saying, this is how I am, and you're not married to that person yet, run as fast as you can. Well, if you're married, that was your choice, sorry. But God-fearing person will not say, oh, this is how I am. Deal with this. No. Yes, this is how I am, but I want to change. And wife is giving me to improve my character, to polish. She's my sandpaper. She is my grinder, let's say that way. I'm her grinder. And in the end, you should have on the list 3 things she wants or likes in this life matching yours. You have to be crazy on the same phase, in the same direction. Let me give another illustration. For example, she's adventurous. She likes hiking, she likes, nature, walking, river, swimming, ocean, and he is just a computer nerd. Is it a match? Absolutely not. Is it enough for them to be happy in a family if they love one another? They are both God-fearing people, he and she. They love one another. the feelings are burning, but in reality, in life, they're both going to be miserable. He will always complain, "Can you please sit down? I'm tired of your hikings." And she will be unhappy because she will feel that she's always pulling her husband behind. Because she wants to go in the nature. Can we have lunch at the nature? No, not today, honey. Can we have a picnic? No. Can we go? It's just a short hike. You can go by yourself. Is that what you want? No. You want her next to you. For example, another illustration. You, as a man, you want a wife to be a good cook. It's important for you. She's a businesswoman, business-minded, she's successful, she built a career, but she cannot fry even an egg. Is it a match? Is it a match? No. Because you want something that she doesn't have. It's not that it's wrong. She simply does not have that quality. And she's not even planning to develop that quality. Cooking is not her. This is why it is important that you find this. Why I say 3, I'm minimizing. There's only basic. There is something that 3, she or he must have. If she doesn't have that trait, if he doesn't have that trait, for example, one girl may decide he must be romantic. Fine. You will find a romantic boy. But at the same time, you remember the previous list, the challenge, that you have to pick 3. You pick one out of those sticker papers. But you have to be ready, the romantic, very caring, very heartful. But he doesn't know to replace a bulb in the chandelier. It's just beyond his skills. So if you're ready to deal with that, that's fine. That's your choice. You see, you need to know what is important for you, what will make you happy, and what defects, at least 3 defects, some in a bigger, sense, some maybe in a less, she will have defects. What are you ready to deal with? In other words, what is your minimum? You have to know it before you have to figure out that while you're dating and getting towards marriage. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. What is dating designed for? Thank you. Amen.